I have a very cringeworthy article here that is going to, if it is put in place, it will lead to the inevitable failure of the Democrats to win in the 2020 election. And you could also say it would convert to the 2018 midterm elections. Now, David Pakman had actually done a video talking about how Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician, but the donors are donating to Kamala Harris. So, very interesting. Even David Pakman is saying this stuff right now. He's usually caught up in fending off right-wingers. But anyway, so this article is an opinion article. It says, Dems need a fresh face for 2020. Try Kamala Harris. So the first part of that, you could say that's good. You know, Dems need a fresh face for 2020. But it depends on what you mean by that. So, for example, Bernie Sanders, he's not a fresh face. Depending on what your definition of fresh face is. To be honest, he hasn't been in the public eye for popular for more than 2-3 years. So you could argue that that's still kind of a fresh face because it's not even, that's not even a presidential term. But the point here being that, and I seen an article on The Guardian too, basically supporting Kamala Harris's run in 2020. But this is a horrific idea. Number one, because she reflects that same image that Hillary Clinton reflects. And also, substantively, I think it was this article, and it was atrocious. It was atrocious. But let's read into this. So they say, if Democrats are serious about taking back power, they need a new strategy. Given the party's current minority position and struggles throughout the first half of 2017, it is clear that the Democrats need fresh leaders if they hope to return to power in Washington. I have consistently argued that the Democratic Party must promote a pro-growth agenda that offers clear alternatives to the Republicans to regain voters. Democrats cannot run a campaign on simply being anti-Republican and resisting the president at every step. I agree with the vast majority of this, but here's the problem. You have everything good here. They need to regain voters, number one. Number two, they need to change their strategy. And number three, they need to change their messaging. All true, but the direction this person is taking it in is very false. So if you recall, what really lost her the election? Was it not gaining moderate Republicans? No, that was not it. That was a false expectancy. So they expected that to happen, but it didn't, because that's not going to happen. You're not going to win over moderate Republicans. Republicans are very loyal. Now, what did you do? You effectively alienated half of the party, the Sanders voters, and what you then did was you basically slapped away any hand. You pick Tim Kaine as your vice president, and then what you end up doing is you lose half of your party, and then you claim to be picking up moderate Republicans, but you fail to, because of course Republicans are loyal and they don't agree with your policy positions, and Hillary Clinton had massive baggage, and also just a terrible campaigner, not even once in Wisconsin, and you lose in the Rust Belt. So why did she lose? It was, about 60,000 votes across 3 states that lost her the election? Those people were workers. Those people could have been swayed by the Bernie Sanders message. So what you're supposed to do is go towards the Bernie Sanders route, not towards the Kamala Harris route. Totally wrong conclusion. They say, looking forward, Senator Kamala Harris is well positioned to potentially be the leader who returns the Democratic Party to the majority. The junior senator from California has already begun developing a strong case for the presidency. I'm just going to go ahead and say false, 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 false. And they go on to say Obama this, Obama that. But what they don't recall is that Kamala Harris doesn't have that same rhetoric. If you go back to Obama, look at his speech back in 08, or I think it was 04. What you see is somebody who is literally like Bernie Sanders. He says, I'm not for stupid wars. He goes on and on about all this stuff. It sounds exactly like Bernie Sanders. And that's why he won. That's the truth. That's why he won. So this is And also, just about Kamala Harris, she failed to prosecute any Wall Street executives as Attorney General of her state. And additionally, she bragged about prosecuting parents who had children who were truant. Now, if you recall, truancy, I know because I'm in school. Truancy is only about, I believe, 15 days. There are about 180, I want to say, days in the school year. If you miss 15 of 180 days, your parent is going to go to jail and face up to 1 year in prison. How is that going to help the situation, number one? Number two, what an extremely vile punishment for such a misdemeanor, if even that. It's not even a misdemeanor. Come on. Are you serious? This is just ridiculous. I mean, I can't believe anything that serious. And she's been getting a lot of donations, and she really doesn't have any strong policy positions. She's not saying, hey, we need single payer. She says, I like the concept of single payer, but we have to work out the details. Well, which one is it? Why do you have to say the concept? Just say you support single payer and ram that through. But you don't. What's up, guys? It's Sawhill here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.